Would you eat that? Would you eat that? Would you eat that? Let's talk about it. Not a good scenario. So here's the deal. I want to go over this real quick with you. Let's find a spot where we can talk. Everybody's safe and sound. Let's head right down here. So here's the deal, folks. So today, we're about to do what we're going to do here with the possum. And I posted the pictures of this situation on Facebook. You know, I really want people to understand exactly what they're getting into and what they're going to have to deal with firsthand. Now, what they're going to have to deal with firsthand when it comes to homesteading and having animals. Self-reliance. I had someone today was talking about, that my genre is more self-reliant than homesteading. Folks, homesteading should be a self-reliant lifestyle. I think all lifestyles should frankly be self-reliant. I understand if you live in the big city, that while you might be buying your groceries from the grocery store, that you still understand and have the mindset and the relationship to where does your food come from? What do you do in an emergency situation? What did your great-great-great-grandmother do? How did she live? Typically might not have been so much in the big city. We know it's nothing compared to, say, what you have now, okay? Even if folks lived in town, they still most likely had a small garden, raised chickens, they had a closer relationship to agriculture. You know what I'm saying. But it's pretty interesting today that I had some comments that some folks were literally shocked that I caught a possum. And there is, now listen to me before you click this off or get upset with me. I want you to hear everything that I have to say. There is an entire and massive movement in terms of being sympathetic to these creatures. I agree with you. It is not the possum's fault that he wants to go in there and eat those chickens. Okay? I mean, let's be honest. You may be going through the drive-thru of CFA right now and get a 12-pack of nuggets. I understand you want to eat the chicken too. Or eat the yummy eggs, or drink the yummy milk from the cow. They're trying to survive also. There's a shift in mentality, though, that you're going to have to take on whether you like it or not. I have said this many, many times. Butchering or slaughtering an animal in a even in your most self-reliant mode is a very difficult thing, okay? I'm not going to make light of it. We've talked about it before. Frankly, you should have an emotional connection to the wildlife and to your food sources. That's the whole point. That's where your appreciation comes in. But when people make comments and not understanding that I cannot allow these creatures to come in and take over, and that you wouldn't allow that either on your homestead, you won't then be self-reliant. You'll just be feeding everything. Now, some folks think that that's okay, and are big into wildlife rehabilitation and feeding things as they come through. Well, first of all, I want to warn you at your home, on your homestead, you need to be aware of what you're doing, because there are legal restrictions, and I never, ever, ever encourage folks to break the law, okay? I can't encourage you to start housing possums at your house. Unless you are a wildlife rehabilitator with a license, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably breaking the law. Whether you want to hear that or not is irrelevant. I'm just knowing that I'm doing my due diligence and telling you to check out your codes, restrictions, and law in your area, state, whatever. But the reality is, I didn't move here to feed coyotes and the fox and the possums. I'm here to teach myself skills and feed ourselves and, teach my children and to take on a more back to our roots lifestyle. That's why we're here. And, let's talk about that for a second. Somebody said, are you going to eat that? I would eat that. It's not going to have a lot of meat on her. Him, whatever. Haven't checked that out yet. There's not a whole lot of meat on that possum. You know, but the bottom line is, yeah, I'd eat it. Do I think it's going to be a scrumptious meal? No. But I will tell you what, the moment that you go, would you eat that? I want you to stop for a second, and I want you to sit for 30 seconds, take a sip of your hot tea, your Coke, your water, your beer, your kombucha, whatever you're sipping on right now. And I want you to think about, what did your grandparents do 75 years ago? Now, they might have been young whippersnappers. My Nana, it was a Great Depression baby. She's going to be 81 years old. But I can tell you right now, if I said, Nana, did you eat that? She would probably wince up a little bit, and she'd go, yeah, there was a time or two that we ate possum. In the Appalachian mountains and in Appalachia, folks, during the Great Depression, most of those people for a long time didn't even know we were really in a Great Depression because they couldn't tell the difference. And possum was always on the menu, okay? It was called filling your belly. Back in the 19th and go back into the 18th century, yes, they were eating possum because the opportunity, if you caught something like that, especially in such an easy situation like I did, that's a free meal, and you don't refuse food. If we were to ever go back into that mode again, and your belly starts to grumble and you're feeling a little bit hungry after about day 3, you might try a little bit of possum because, see, your body is going to need some protein. Okay? At a minimum, your children are probably going to eat a little bit, and you're at least going to feed the dog. So I want you to stop for a second. This is not a debate on whether possums are beneficial creatures. I don't have anything against any animal because they only do what they do, and they work in self-defense, and they work in their self-reliant, instinctual mode of survival. But guess what? So do I. My responsibility is to protect that flock right there. My farm, my animals. I don't want it to have disease. I don't want my children to become bitten by an animal simply defending itself that has more teeth in its head than any mammal in North America, and it's loaded with bacteria. I don't want a potential issue with a raccoon and rabies. I don't want parasites. So before you make a decision on, would you eat that? I really want you to reflect on history. And what did Granny do? Granny did what she had to do to survive, to keep her farm, to keep her house warm, to keep her chickens fed. Because she understood, she already knew, and she understood that it didn't take much to take that away. And then you're facing situations that many of us don't ever want to experience. We'll see you on the next video. We hope you are warm and well and your farm is thriving. Think about these things when you start this lifestyle, because you're going to be forced to make decisions. They will present themselves, and you are going to have to make those decisions based upon what is best for you, your family, your farm, your self-reliance. We'll see you on the next video.